Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? My name is Ruth Finney, and welcome to You Can Talk. I am here this morning to talk about respect. Respect. Good morning. Thanks. How are you? Good to see you. Rashika Conyers, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you all this morning. I'm happy that you all are here. I pray your day is blessed already just because you woke up this morning and you are here to see another day. So, this morning, I want to talk about respect because I don't know about you all, but I have definitely struggled in my past with relationships where I have struggled in having respect or the loss of respect in the relationship, and it was very, very difficult to be in a relationship where respect has been lost. And you can always tell people who have lost respect in their relationship because it's always somewhat uncomfortable. There's always those uncomfortable moments around words spoken, right? These awkward conversations and uncomfortable moments where we're saying things like, wow, I can't believe they just said that. Did you hear what they just said? Or I can't believe you just said that to me, right? And it can be done, especially like in front of other people. A lot of times that's when we know that we've lost respect because we'll say whatever in front of other people. Good morning, Burns. Good to see you. Good morning. Thanks. Welcome. Good to see you. Rashika Conyers, Wanston. Congratulations. Congratulations on you all's monetization. That is just phenomenal. I'm super excited and happy for you all. So blessings to you all this morning. We are here, if you're just coming in, talking about respect. So respect can be viewed from so many different perspectives because everyone sees respect differently. Like what they think is respectful and what they think is disrespectful is different for everyone. And so it can be very easy to disrespect people in a relationship. Number one, because we don't know what they respect, what they value, what's important to them. What should and shouldn't be said, or what they think should and shouldn't be said. So we have to. Am I next? I hope so. I hope so. That would be wonderful. But either way, I press forward. Either way, I press forward. So yes, I want to talk about how easy it is to respect. And if you want to have respect in your relationships, what respect should actually look like in a relationship? What respect should really look like? Because a lot of times we don't know, right? And we get mad at the people that we're in relationship with because they've offended us. But really, a lot of times it's because they don't know that that's something that we felt passionate about, or that's something that was important to us. So I want to talk about just some different ways that we can show respect in our relationship, or what a real respectful relationship should look like. Okay. If you want to have respect in your relationship, these are the things that I have observed. These are the things that I have worked to incorporate into my relationships and into my marriage in order that we can maintain respect in our relationship, because it's really easy to lose. It's really easy to lose respect for your mate, and easy to lose respect for the relationship. And so there's some important things that you need to keep at the forefront of the relationship so that you all can maintain respect. The first one is you have to be reserved. You should and need to be, there should be a sense of reservedness in your relationship. What do I mean by that? People who are reserved, couples who are reserved, they have a high self-awareness. I don't know if you know it, but if you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you are on display. Okay, whether you want to be or not. If you're in a relationship or if you're in a marriage, you're on display. People are always watching you. They are watching you to, see how you all interact with each other. And especially if they know one or the other of you, but don't really know you all together, right? If they don't know you and your mate together. But so they're looking at your relationship, they're looking at your marriage, trying to see what's good about it, right? What's good about it? What's bad about it? What would I be able to tolerate if I were in a relationship? What would I be able to take? Um, we sort of hold up a mirror, right? We hold up a mirror to other people's relationships next to ours. Why? Because we're looking for something that we can either pattern our relationship off of to make our relationship better, or a lot of times we're looking to prove a point, right? Something like, well, see, that's exactly why I don't want to be in a relationship, or this is exactly why I don't want to be married, or this is exactly why we should be married, or we should be, take this to the next level, or whatever. People are looking to pattern themselves after you all, or they're looking for something to prove a point about what they believe about relationships or about marriage. So you have to have a high sense of self awareness in your relationship, because people are always looking, and it alters the behavior, it alters the environment that's going on around you. And if you want to be, and I mean, who doesn't want to be seen in their best light, right? Every marriage, every relationship wants to be that influencer couple. We want to be that couple that everyone looks at and says, oh, I want to be like that, or oh, I want that, right? We all want to be that. We all want to have that. And so couples who have respect for each other, who have respect for the relationship, have a sense of reservedness about them. They have a high self-awareness because they know that people are always watching, and they want to be seen in their best light. Good morning, Positive. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome. Um, the next one is elevation. Elevation. If you want to have respect in your relationship or in your marriage, there has to be a sense of elevation. You should be elevating each other. If your partner is not elevating you, if you feel like you're being put down, if you are, not being just lifted, if you don't feel lifted and light in your relationship or in your marriage, then you need to work on that. You need to work on elevating each other. And this is a respect of self and others. You don't have to put yourself down, and you especially don't want to put your mate down. Okay. You especially should not be putting them down when they're in front of you, and even when they're not in front of you, because this is something I see, right? People won't necessarily say anything negative about their mate when their mate is around, but when their mate is not around, they will say ugly things about them, or say negative things about them, or embarrassing things about them, that they know that if their mate was there, they would not want that to be said. And so that's another way that we disrespect our mate and disrespect our relationships and our marriages. So, but we should be elevating our partners no matter what's going on. And if you can't elevate them, then just don't say anything at all, right? If you all are in a tiff with each other or whatever, and you can't say anything nice, then just don't say anything. But don't put them down. Don't put them down. Speak highly of your mate when they're around and when they're not around. Because like I said, people are always watching. And number one, you have to have that respect, because you have to realize we're not our own. We belong to God, and your mate belongs to God, and we are his possessions. And just that very fact enables us to know that we deserve respect, just because we are God, we are his children. And so we have to do unto others as he would want done. And he respects us when we don't deserve respect, and therefore we have to respect others. Romans 12:9 and 10 talks about love must be genuine. Hate what is evil, but hold fast to what is good. Be devoted in love and honor one another above self, right? So we have to be willing to put our mates' needs, their desires, their wants above ourselves. Love elevates. If you don't feel lifted in your relationship, lifted in your marriage, I take I take a great sense of comfort in knowing that no matter what kind of day I have, I know that I can go home and be loved and feel loved and be in the presence of people who love me, right? And starting with my husband and on down to my children. So love elevates. Love elevates. It does not degrade it or degrade. Right. I think I said that right. But it doesn't demean and put down. So you should be elevating, because that brings respect to the marriage. You should be able to know that when you go home, you don't have to worry about being demoralized by your partner. right? Because they love you and they care about you, and they're not going to do anything to hurt you or cause you harm. That's because the sense of respect that they have for you and for the relationship. The next one is selfless. This requires us to be selfless. In order to love on this level, we have to be selfless, not selfish. Selfishness is disrespectful in and of itself. Obviously, that means you care only about yourself. Um, if you have a hard time putting others before yourself, then you may not be ready for marriage, or you may not be ready for a long term committed relationship. Because if you want to be in a relationship that lasts, that conquers things and overcomes things, it absolutely requires a sense of selflessness. You cannot be selfish in marriage. You cannot be selfish in a long-term committed relationship where it won't last. It won't last because it's about yielding your needs and your desires and your wants to the needs and desires and wants of the other. Now, that doesn't mean that you never get what you want, because obviously your mate should be doing that for you too. They should be yielding the things that they want to the things that you want. It should go back and forth, right? You've seen those couples that are like, oh no, you go first. Oh no, you go first, right? And we're like, oh my God, why don't you just pick a situation, decide what you're gonna do, make a decision, right? But that's how it really is. That's how love really is. When that selfless is, no, I care about what you want. Well, I want this to work out for you. And the other person is doing the same. Right. So good morning. I'm Broken Sylvia Sunshine. Good to see you this morning. Welcome in. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. So and so that's what that selflessness is. If you want to have respect in the relationship, we are looking for our partners to not just be satisfied or to not just be happy, but to actually be flourishing. To actually be flourishing. Why? Because a win for them is a win for us both. We should not be in competition with our mates and with our partners, with our spouses. We should not feel like we have to be in competition with them. If you feel like you are, having to be in competition with your mate, then it's hard to. It's hard to feel loved, right? Because that's like they're only loving you if they feel like they're in front of you or ahead of you or being put first. And anytime they're behind or down, then they feel like they're not being loved, right? So they're getting their sense of importance based upon them being above you, right? We shouldn't have to feel good about being loved by making our partner feel less than. Okay. So don't do anything. Philippians 2:3 and 4 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself. So that means we have to value our mates and our partners above ourselves, not looking out for our own interests, but also to the interests of others. Okay. So we cannot be selfish in a relationship or in a marriage if we want to have respect. Respect requires us to not be selfish. The next one is the P for peaceful reasoning. If you are always looking to be in an argument or even just to have your way, always have your way in a relationship, then you may not be ready for love, because your partner is looking for somebody to love them. They're not looking for a sparring partner, someone that they always have to fight with, or you know they're looking for that place of peace, that place of rest, the place of tranquility, that safe space for them to fall when they've been beat up by the world. They're looking for that Garden of Eden, not to be in the ring with you. We should not be in sparring matches with our partners all the time. We should always be ready to be at peace and have peaceful reasoning, to find some common ground, and ways that we can work together or compromise together so that we can both be happy. Yes, being on the same team. Absolutely. Thanks. Being on the same team. Romans 12:18 says, if it is possible, on your part, live at peace with everyone. So if we want to have respect and health in our relationship, we have to be willing to find peace in every situation, even when we don't agree. Let's say one of you is a socialite and the other one is an introvert, and one of you likes to have company and the other one doesn't, right? The other one's like, no, I don't always want people over here, but whatever the situation is. And the other one says, no. Well, so we work to find compromise. It's like, okay, well, maybe I can have someone over, but maybe not so often, right? It won't be every night or every week or every weekend even. Or maybe we will socialize outside the house and maybe not so much inside the house. Maybe one of you is a saver versus a spender. So rather than one of you just spending all the time, and another one just saving every dime, you work to find a budget, right? We work to figure out, okay, well, how much can we put towards spending every month, my spending every month, and how much can we put towards your saving every month, right? If you're an early riser, one of you is an early riser, another one is a night owl. Then maybe you have to try to schedule some together time, right? Because if one of you is going to bed early, another one is staying up late, you have to schedule some time. Like, okay, well, when are we going to spend time together? Or you may have to sacrifice and stay up late every once in a while and do something that they enjoy doing, or they may have to get up early and enjoy doing something that you enjoy doing. So, find compromise, peaceful reasoning. That is what respect looks like in a relationship. The E is empathy. You have to have empathy in a relationship, in a marriage. And that is an effort to develop some understanding. If you never allow yourself to put yourself in the shoes of your mate, you'll always butt heads. You'll always butt heads because you're going to be busy trying to prove your point, make your point, do what you want to do, have your way. And you're not going to try to have any understanding of what your mate may be feeling. There may be a reason that they don't want to do what you're asking them to do, or and if you don't bother to ask or bother to find out or bother to figure out why they feel the way they feel when you're in certain environments or doing certain things, then you'll never understand why it bothers them so much, or why they're distancing themselves from you. So you have to have empathy. You have to be willing to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Just because you're okay with something doesn't mean that they're good with something. Just because you're comfortable around these things or these types of people or whatever the situation is doesn't mean they are. And so you have to be willing to develop some empathy and some understanding as to why they feel the way they feel. Put everything out on the table. This is what's going on. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I want us to work on, and make a united decision. Talk about the pros and cons of an issue from both of your perspectives, right? Because we all see life differently. Some of us see life in one way, and some of us can look at a situation and see something totally different. And so when you find yourself butting heads on a situation, talk it out. Talk it out. Talk about the pros and cons, what you like, what you don't like, and try to make a united decision as to what's going to be good for the both of you. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to develop some empathy and understanding for each other. The C in the respect is control, right? Not control your partner, but control of your emotions and your words. Control of your emotions and your words. The fastest way to cause damage in a relationship or a marriage is to allow our emotions and our words and our tongue to get too loose, right? And to say things that we don't mean. Because once we do that, the damage is done. The damage is done. And even though the injury of our words may take just a moment, the repair and the healing that has to occur in order to fix what has now been broken may take seasons and years. And you don't want to waste time in your relationship and in your marriage having to repair, spending seasons of your life having to repair moments of mishaps, moments of, mistakes. So, have control, have a sense of control. Remember your why. Remember your why you fell in love with this person, why you were attracted to this person, why you wanted this person in your life, um, why they were ever important to you. All of that is important to be so that you can help control your emotions and your tongue. And yes, there are moments where I have to wake up and remind myself, yes, I do love this man, right? Or especially when things are we're having an argument, or we're having a disagreement, whatever the situation is, or they're acting outside of their character, and you may have to wake up and say, yes, I do still love this man. Yes, I love this woman. Whatever the situation, whatever it is, you need to be able to control your thoughts and your emotions. And when I feel myself losing that control, I remove myself from the environment. Yes, Positive says that's a great idea, sharing the pros and cons and control that tongue. Wanston says, yes, right. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. It is so important. You can only control yourself. You can't control your partner. Yes. So therefore, if you feel yourself losing control, and yes, there have been moments where I have felt myself losing control. Like I am literally about to say something that I know that I'm going to regret. So I'm going to remove myself from the situation, and I'll even let them know. Like, you know what? I feel myself about to say something that I know is going to cause more damage than good. So I'm going to stop this conversation right now, or I'm going to take a break, or I'm going to remove myself from this environment, from this argument, whatever it is. And then we can come back together when I've calmed down, or when you've calmed down, and try to reconvene this conversation. Right. So let people know, because that's a sense of respect. That's a sense of respect. That means I respect you too much to disrespect you with my words. Right. That says I love you too much to disrespect you with my words. So I'm going to, honor this relationship by removing myself from this conversation so that I don't say what I don't need to say. Good morning, Candalee V. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Welcome in. Welcome in, my Texas sister. You are in Texas, so good to see you. All right. And the last one is togetherness. If you want to have respect in your relationship, you need to have a mindset of togetherness. Your partner, your spouse should be your best friend. They are your teammate. Y'all are on the same team. They're not your enemy. You should be each other's biggest fan. You should be each other's biggest cheerleaders. Like I said, it's not a competition. There should not be a thought that enters your mind that doesn't take your partner into consideration. And I know that that's hard to do, especially if you've been single for a long time, because you're used to just only having to consider yourself, right? But when you get in a relationship and when you get in a marriage, and you want to maintain respect, you need to have a mindset of togetherness. And that is something that takes practice. It's not easy to do. So we have to realize that every decision we make, every action we take affects our partner in one way or another. And so when you're making decisions, when you're making thoughts, when you're trying to consider, should I do this? Should I do that? What is my partner going to think about that? How are they going to feel about me doing this? How would they feel if they were here right now? What would they say? Right. So there should always be a thought, or, you should always be taking your partner into consideration. Have that togetherness mindset. Because when you do that, when you're thinking in that way, you're thinking like a team, and you're thinking what is going to help us get to the finish line? What's going to help us get to the win? Because sometimes that means that you actually have to hand over the ball to your partner in order to watch them take it across the finish line. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. We want to be the ones to get the glory. We want to be the ones to, do it ourselves, right? But we don't need them. We're going to do it ourselves. And so that will get glorified. But yet sometimes we have to be willing to hand over that ball to our partner and say, you go do it. You take us across the finish line. Because when you're together, a win is a win for you both. It's a win for you both. It's not your partner's winning and I'm not, right? It's not you're living your best life and I'm not. If they're living their best life, you're living your best life too, because their wins are your wins. So I know that that's not easy, Burns. You're right. Sometimes it is not easy. It's not. You are absolutely right about that. I've been in this situation where it was hard to watch, and that's why you have to incorporate it and say, hey, if you're the one that feels like you're doing, if you're the one feeling like you're always having to yield, it's important that you learn to incorporate and give appreciation and gratification to your spouse, right? To be able to say, hey, I'm here, I'm able to do this because of you. You're holding down the fort in this area, in that area. You are making it easy. And because you're making it easy for me to be able to win, and my winning is going to cause us to have this greatness. And make sure that you're giving it back, that you're giving them credit where credit is due. Because a lot of times we will take off and take it across the finish line, get all the glory, and forget to thank our partner or forget to say, hey, thank you for handing over the ball. Thank you for taking a back seat. Thank you for yielding to what you wanted to do so that I could do what I needed to do or what I wanted to do. And we forget that. And so we lose that teammate mindset and that togetherness mindset. My win is a win for you. And this is how we're going to celebrate together. This is how we're going to be rewarded together, and make sure that you are including your spouse and your partner in that win. And that's how you keep a togetherness mindset. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about this morning when it comes to respect. Over the time that I wanted to go, so I got to rush into work, but I hope that this was beneficial for you all in some way, shape, or form, and that you remember to keep respect in your relationship. Keep respect in your relationship and in your marriages. I love you all. Have a phenomenal day. Have a phenomenal day. Go out and win the day. Go out, win the day. Respect your partner. Look at these areas where you need to work on, getting back some of that respect, and do it. You can do it. You can do it. You all can have the type of relationship and the type of marriage that you want to have. It is not impossible. It just requires belief, faith, and work. Belief, faith, and work. And you can have the relationship and the marriage that you've always desired. I love you all. Take care. Bye bye.